If you think of the stage as a playground, then you'll have insight into how Mary Zimmerman tackles a project.
I think of my work on stage as playing in the backyard. I'm Nebraskan, so I admire Willa Cather, and she once said, "I will never be the artist I was as a child."
In order to inspire that childlike sense of wonder in her actors, Zimmerman avoids rules and begins her plays without a single word written in advance.
She often talks about when we're children and we go out to the backyard and we kind of employ whatever we have at hand to create this magical world, and as children we're fully invested in these worlds and there's no separation between us and this magical realism that we've set up in our childhood minds, and you very much see that spirit of play in Mary's shows, and I think that's why it's so very accessible.
This is one version of the story.
With nothing written, anything is possible.
I'm extremely involved in the vision of the design. And the design has to be what I call an open field of play, because I don't exactly know what's going to happen on it. And the set has to be full of potential, though I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to use it.
With Whitesnake, Zimmerman had a little more structure going in because she was looking to an ancient Chinese folktale as inspiration.
One thing that I find so beguiling about the story is that it's based on the idea of two snake spirits, who have practiced the Tao and studied the Tao so assiduously that they can transform themselves into the shape of young maidens and come down to the real world to see what it's like. It's both humorous and I think really profound, and it has sort of staging difficulties or challenges that are the kind of thing that attract me. In other words, how to do the snakes and all of that kind of thing. I really love the challenge of how to make that happen inside the four walls of a theater.
Mamma mia! Mary was really interested in showing the snake in as many forms as possible. So, obviously we do it in the human form. We also do it in puppet forms. We have two really fantastic little snake puppets that are actually like dryer hose and covered in silk, and they have sweet little faces, and we have two poles to operate them. We see puppets in the form of parasols and manipulated by 6 people at a time.
We play around with both the snakes, that when they're more upset, their snake nature comes out. Their S's start prolonging into sort of hisses, and they start getting kind of sinewy in a kind of uncontrollable way.
Yes.
There's some hissing. That is true.
In fact, it was love at first sight.
Elongated S's, things like that.
Yeah, little fun things like when we laugh, sometimes we'll
I do want to solve things in efficient, imaginative, I hope sort of original ways that are also visually spectacular but theatrical. And that's kind of what keeps me going in the theater, is still finding ways of doing things and of doing the impossible, how to do a rainstorm without actually importing rain for it. I feel that does engage the audience because they have to pull on their own resources of images within themselves that we all share in common. And there's a kind of intimacy created when everyone understands what this means.
When it comes to theater, the magic of it is the play and the ability to leave a certain amount left to the audience for their imagination.
So they meet us in the middle.
The audience and the actors in theater have a symbiotic relationship. We really can't do the story one without the other.
And here our tale forks again.
And Whitesnake has a lot to say about these ideas which exist across culture about not being fooled by the appearance of things, but understanding the true nature of things. But we could be seen for who we truly are and still loved. I think that's the special gem of the play.
And in Zimmerman's hands, it's also an opportunity to engage an audience in the interactive playground of live theater, where imagination is the only special effect you'll need. Beth Accomando, KPBS News.